evening, yeah, Bomba Klutz. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's an social production. That's right, we're doing it. It's Friday once again, July the 10th, 2026. Thank you for joining me wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, Wagwan, to me, Familias, further down south, the United States of America. Of course, as always, beautiful 50 states, further down south, Mexico, South America, all over Asia, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, of course, Senegal, Portugal, Italy. Over there in Norway, my Norwegians, my Polish people, or Polish people, my Polacks, over there in Nairobi, all around the world, in the water, orbiting the moon maybe, or orbiting Uranus. That's right, it's Uranus, orbiting your own anus. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. It is Friday. Let's get a sip of this. Let us begin once again and dive right into it, because lots of exciting events are happening. Put it down. If you've not finished the sloppy toppy, put it down, finish them off and put it down. And you two, the fellas, if she already came all over your mouth, put it down and enjoy the rest of the show. I actually don't mind if you got oral fixations where you're like, cack or puss to be in my mouth while I watch the show, then so be it. I'm not here to tell you what to do with that cack or puss. Nonetheless, let us begin. Graham Platner, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this story came on our radar a few days ago, it doesn't matter. It's been evolving, it's evolved, here it is. Senate candidate from Maine, Graham Platner, who was running, and people were like, oh, maybe there's some stories about this guy that may or may not be, who knows what's up. Alleged sexual assault allegations and whatnot, but he was trying to run, people were backing him, he wasn't backing down, now he's dropped out. Moral of the story, it's not even about, at this point the story is not even about Graham Platner, he's dropped out of the race. This story is about how to have a successful sexy campaign, is essentially what this is about, because there's a fine line. This is where he went wrong. I think we're gonna dissect this together, and hopefully we can learn so that other candidates, and I don't care whether you're on the left or the right, this is for all the candidates. This is bipartisan, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody, the constituents love a sexy campaign, all right? You are to have allegations. This is what we're looking for in our candidates. And again, I don't care if you're left or right. We are looking for people with allegations. You're not supposed to go full, as the great Robert Downey Jr. once said, you're not supposed to go full retard, which by the way, you can. You totally can. I believe you can, but that's retard. You're not supposed to, when you're doing a campaign, a sexual assault campaign, or a political campaign, it's hard to distinguish which is which. We are looking for candidates because you can't be some like lame, you can't be a square with no sexual allegations, or you got to be sexual out there. If you're doing, politics, like high level, if you want to succeed, if you're like, oh, I don't care about being mediocre, I just want to get in and out, then that's fine. But if you're looking to be like, I don't know, the greats, some of the greats had the best stories. We love a good poon hound running for office. We love a good ladies man. We love a good ladies man we've had some of our best spokesmen throughout the years, our best orators. They may have had the puss, but also may have the low-key on the DL. God let it a cack. So overall, we enjoy the good sexual activities. You can't just go full. This is where the mistake was done. He dropped out, which I'm assuming you drop out only if the allegations may be true, which is, again, I don't know, allegedly everything, by the way, parentheses, big letters, bold letters, allegedly everything, because I don't know. I'm not there. I can't dig into people's lives and backgrounds when I'm not there. What do you want me to do? Dig into people's lives and backgrounds when I'm not there? I can't be there. So I work with the info that I've got. So lessons learned, schmooze with the ladies, get photographed outside. If you're like a bachelor and you're about to get married, have a few nights out as a candidate getting photographed is paparazzi still a thing? I'm not quite sure anymore. I think TMZ made a comeback of sorts. I don't know if they ever went away or not, but doesn't matter. Get somebody to take photos of you with you, like looking at tits or like holding tits, pushing a baby over and then kissing a couple of tits. People love when you push a child over and you kiss tits as a candidate, but you're not supposed to, go full-blown aggro. You can't go full-blown aggro predator. You gotta, like, again, it's a fine line. Did he cross it? I don't know. He dropped out. Something tells me if you drop out, you might have crossed some line. So have something that people can get excited about. Be like, oh, you never know. He's got that, he's high testosterone. He's got that high, the sex drive, which tells us he's going to be a great leader, because that's what we look for. That's what we look for in both men's and women's in terms of leadership. We're like, does this, do they fuck? Do they or do they not? As leaders, I don't care about anybody else, but as leaders, you're like, yes, please grab something, squeeze something, suckle on a couple of teeth, so at least I know you're alive. Something's got to be, moving behind those eyes that I can at least be like, okay, some part of them is human. So we are looking for candidates who are willing to take risks, and by that I mean petting cats and dogs a little bit more, firmer than the average Gentile, if you will. So we're here to say that congratulations to all the other candidates who are still running, and the new candidates that might be coming in. Lessons learned. This, I believe his campaign is over. But again, this wasn't even about him. This was more so that everybody else can learn and have successful, sexy campaigns. A little make-out sesh with the secretary under the desk, getting a little sloppy toppy goes a long way if you do fiscally well. All right, no one cares. Add a little bit of instruments to that, and you're playing jazz, you're playing the sax, people can get behind a roof or go full-blown, put him in a basement, lock him down, do rapey, no bueno. Fine line. Again, don't go full assault. A little bit of low-key again. He or she gets around. People like to hear that about their candidate, because you don't want a leader that doesn't get around. So please, don't cross that line. It's a firm, unknown line, which is it's known, but nonetheless, it's hard, I suppose. It's hard. It's not meant for everybody. He didn't cut it. He didn't have what it takes. He didn't have the makings of a varsity athlete. And we whether again you're on the left or right, we hope that all the candidates out there can go and do the dance well. So please learn from this, do better. Don't go full board, tie 'em up, and don't go chloroform all the way. Just lots of dates, lots of sloppy nights, lots of, drinking, boozing, drugging, and also doing, administration work, both, domestically and internationally. You got to mix it all up. People like to see you mix it up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Again, this is for the next candidates. Please proceed accordingly. You're handsome and you run through, celebrities with your brother allegedly in the past. Rest in peace, Marilyn Monroe. Who knows? Again, people get behind it. People root for it. I don't know what went down. You hear things and you get excited. Like, yes, maybe they did run a train. Maybe they were really great at running trains and also doing well for the country. Didn't end well, of course, in some cases. But nonetheless, you can even Abraham Lincoln, who knows? Rumors are now coming out saying, why he didn't shave the mustache, but left the beard. He going down. That's the rumor I heard. Some of you assholes are, speculating maybe he was gay or not. The man's dead. Have some respect. I don't know if he was or he was not gay, but I believe that's why they shaved the top mustache and leave the beard. That's the same for the wrestlers from, a certain part of the world, Chechnya, I want to say Dagestan. Again, a lot of hardworking men who like to also go down on their ladies. And you know what gets in the way of going down on your ladies? A hefty mustache. Unless it's full blown, then they like it. It's hard to keep that balance. Just easier to remove the mustache so you can get that, puss connected with your top lip. Top lip puss action. That's what the ladies love, and good luck to everybody out there. Congratulations, of course. Welcome back. $325 million. That's the amount of dollars that it'll take you to die in China, if that's what in terms of bribes, that is. You're apparently this government official is gonna go to his death. He's sentenced to death, I believe, for taking bribes over 30 years, which added to 325 million. They converted it. They said I don't know the amount of yens or yans or whatever the currency for China is, whatever, it added up to $325 million. And they found out this government official was taking bribes over the years. 60 something years, I think like 69 years old, almost at the finish line, which made me ask myself, I'm like, do we, man, that's crazy, because death for bribes, I like bribes. I don't want people like, I don't want to, that's where I'm conflicted. I'm like, do I like bribes? Because like low key, I've never been in a position where I've been, offered a bribe or had the chance to offer somebody, some bribes. It's kind of nice to be able to go up to somebody with a briefcase. How do you even do it? I mean, old school methods, I'm assuming briefcase and briefcase filled with cash, and you roll up to somebody, maybe in a limo, in a 1980s style limo, with, a lot of cash, to just be like, check out these gator boots, and also look at that briefcase on your desk, senator or whoever, or to a construction mogul, you're like, look at these gator boots, construction mogul, and then you just leave the briefcase and bend over and tie your shoes and come back and accidentally pop up in the briefcase and be like, whoa, what's all this cash doing over here? I don't even know how this cash got in this briefcase. I certainly don't want it. Do you want it, friend? And that's how deals were done. And I don't know if it's good or bad, but this guy's dying because of it. So don't do bribery, I guess, in China. That's the moral of the story, which is, again, another communist feature. Again, in the great Western society that we're privileged to live in, you're not, it's not encouraged to go and bribe or take bribes or give bribes. But the good thing is, at least we still respect human life. We're like, you're not supposed to do it, but if you do, we'll probably put you in jail, or so we're not going to kill you. Because that's not even, they just want to, it's just numbers. They don't even care. We care. We want to, make sure you're working out there. Still, we could put you in a prison and make you work, and maybe in like 10 years, you'll learn your lesson and you'll come back, be a contributing member of society, where they're in the communist regions of the world. They're like, nah, off with his head. 325 million. He was really good at it too. It's not like he was some like low-level scumbag doing, shitty numbers. 325 millions. But again, it is spread out through 30 years. But still, 325 million is a lot. So he was good at his job. What if we were to cultivate that, and people be like, find out what you're good at an early age? What if some kid is like really good at giving and or taking bribes? Do we want to, suffocate him and or her, or be like, no, you're not supposed to move forward with you're extremely talented in giving and taking bribes, and it's hard to come by a person who's both good at giving and taking bribes. Most people are good at either one, but to find someone who's good at both, that's hard to come by. All I'm saying is it's fast and loose. That's how they do it down there. I don't know how I feel about it. I would like to be in a position to be able to bribe people and get bribed. My personal favorite would have to be cash, of course. Dollars, US dollar, respect. If you're gonna bribe, it better be in US dollars. If anybody comes, and that's the thing too, sucks, because he was probably getting bribed or getting bribed in like Chinese currency, which is, it's not as cool. You gotta admit, it's not as cool. I hope he at least got, I hope he asked for US dollars when he was getting the bribes. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, he's gonna die. If you're gonna go to China, don't engage in bribery. And any other place as well, I suppose don't, but also, do you not want things to move smoothly? Because that's how life works. All of life is mostly bribery, whether through, financial means or sexual favors of sorts or other. It all funnels down to those two, those are the top two favors. I mean, otherwise you can probably bribe somebody with food or candy, or, a little bit of, just like maybe like, if somebody's really into like shiatsu massages, be like, I'll give you 10 shiatsu massages, and you go and hold a little tiny shih tzu in your hand and you walk on their back, and that's a shiatsu massage, and that's what you do, and that's how you bribe them. But otherwise, I say again, stick with the classics. Don't do it, but also low key. Sometimes you end up being in places in the world where you need to bribe a fella or two to get past certain things. Want to see somebody? You gotta bribe. You the doorman. You gotta the secretary. You want to go past this gate. You gotta bribe somebody. You gotta I've left plenty of, you'll go to like South America, you're like, I've left plenty of cash in the middle of my cleavage, and it was it was, mysteriously vanished right in front of my eyes. I don't know how it happened, but guess what? My trip was way smoother. I didn't get sniped by the guerrilla fighters in South America. I'm sorry, I was thinking, what's more important, not bribing or living? So things to consider: should you bribe, should you not bribe? I think it's a God-given right, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it's amongst the 10 commandments. Some say there's something to be said about, reading between the lines, I think. And maybe there's more to the 10 that we are, maybe there's more than 10. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe bribery was in there. You never know. And what's considered what's the difference between bribery and gifts, by the way? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to, low-key, it's not considered a bribe if you want your kid to get into like a good school and you go and find this, the head schoolmaster, like the master of the school, or, the principal, or the headmaster, like the teacher. You're like, here, I bought you this, I bought you this giant ass TV. And this has nothing to do with me wanting little Stephanie to get into, the pre-K at this particular school and, make sure that she gets on the right path. I don't really care about my daughter's future, but I really want you to have this giant TV. And also, you know what? I found that there's this local massage place that if you, slip an extra 20 or 50, they can give you a little bit of that extra, happy ending. I bought you a gift card, and this has nothing to do with me wanting little Stephanie to get ahead. Absolutely not. I don't even want my kid in your school. Should you happen to, of course, eliminate the other candidates, and by that I mean, the children the same age as little Stephanie, who might be just as good as her, who might have all the potential. If you want to eliminate any one of them just because of this, TV and or gift card to the happy ending massage parlor, that's up to you. I'll let you decide. So what's the difference between a gift and a bribe? That's what I asked myself right now. That's what I asked you guys right now. That's what you guys asked me right now. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Why are you asking me? What's the difference between a gift and a bribe? There it is. I think it's, don't kill him is all I'm saying. Despite the fact, yeah, probably working in the CCP, but still, it's just human to human. Like, we're all striving for that, We're all, aren't we at the end of the day all striving to get bribed or give a bribe? Really, what's the point of life if you're not bribing and or getting bribed? Seriously, what's the point? Leave a comment if you've been bribed or if you're engaging in bribery right now. I don't endorse any of these activities, and this is just a show for your entertainment purposes. Please. When our president Donald J. Trump went to NATO went to the NATO meeting in Turkey just recently, and meeting with all the world leaders who attended the NATO meeting in Turkey, and they all left with Turkish revolvers as parting gifts, as a goodwill gesture, as a goodbye gift. Was that a bribe? Was that a bribe? What's a bribe? What's the difference between a bribe and a gift? That's what I'd like to know. But nonetheless, let's focus on what's important here and getting gifted revolvers. That's one of the, I gotta admit, I've been to Turkey. I'm a fan. I like what you guys are doing down there. The Turkish delight. It doesn't, like, it's not the craziest shit, but it's not bad either. With tea on a beautiful fall day. Sure, absolutely, it's beautiful. But revolvers are a wonderful gift, which I think is not something it's not a common gift, but I like to, if I can, use my platform for a little bit of good, and just say that if you're thinking of what to gift somebody, that is a wonderful gift. I've not been gifted a revolver. I'd love to be gifted a revolver. I love to be able to be in a position where I can gift people revolvers. We don't have enough. I'd like multiple. If I'm being completely honest. I'd like multiple revolvers. Apparently, I found this out. Apparently, Turkey is one of the, not the, of course, we know who the biggest manufacturer of arms is in the world, but there's others who compete. Apparently, Turkey, in small-sized handguns, they happen to be like the number 3 exporter of small to mid-sized handguns out there in the world. And they get these beautiful revolvers with people's names on it. I didn't have the chance to, of course, attend NATO in Turkey this time around. Next time around, who knows? But I'm just saying, if there's any extra revolvers, I'd like some. Please and thank you. By the way, I'd like to just say this. I did see a brief video of President Trump going and being greeted, I guess, by the Turkish president. And you know how presidents or like, diplomats get together when they're traveling and they get together for photos, or somebody's coming out of the, somebody's coming down the staircase on the elevator, on the airplane, and they're coming down and they meet them on a red carpet or like any color carpet, really. It doesn't matter what the color of the carpet is. The point is that they meet and they're engaging in some sort of an introductory conversation. And here's the thing though, if you don't speak English, you're not even talking. So that's my first concern. But they've got translators. But that first initial meet, when you meet somebody, I'm just thinking, this is why, I hope people take advantage of this. I hope our presidents take advantage of this. Like when you do meet foreign dignitaries, like do whisper like random phrases that they wouldn't, get. That first initial meeting when they're shaking your hand on the tarmac, like when they lean in, and again, they don't speak English. You could just be like, your wife's got huge knockers, and they're just like smiling and shaking your hand like, yes, thank you, yes, welcome. They'll say, they'll broken English. They'll say like a couple of words. Thank you, welcome to Turkey. They'll say something, or anywhere else in the world. I'm just saying, you gotta have fun with it. You got a huge cock. Get off the plane and be like, you got a huge cock, and just shake his hand or whoever's hand. Nice labias to some female dignitary, foreign dignitary, like nice labias, lady, and she's all like, she's speaking like, whatever, Mongolian, and she's like, yes, thank you, and you never know if that kind of stuff goes down. And I hope that it does. Can't be all seriousness and just be like, oh, what are we doing around the world today? Give somebody a compliment that they wouldn't. I guess you could reverse it too. They could say something, I guess, in their language, but it just, again, the other languages don't matter. They don't care. It doesn't matter what they say. The point is, let us have fun with it at least, please. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, please, I hope that President Trump is whispering something a little bit naughty in Erdogan's ear, How about those Turkish tits? How about that? Welcome to our country. Yes. You have beautiful tits in your nation, yes, and they'll be like, yes, we do, yes, we do. They wouldn't know what they're saying, but they'll mostly nod and say yes, and probably thank you, and welcome, yes, we do, and you do, you genuinely do. Shout out to all the tits out there. You all have beautiful tits out there. It doesn't matter if you do or don't speak English. It doesn't matter. What levels the playing field is tits. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are once again on a Friday, on a beautiful Friday. Somebody asked us a delicate question, a question that is probably on your minds as well. Someone wrote in and asked, I'm dating a girl. I'm trying to smash her mom and sister as well. Is it rude not to smash her aunt? What a considerate young man. This one is, thank you for putting that forward. Thank you for coming out with that question. I believe there are other people out there in the world, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, that you might be in a similar situation where you're hitting somebody, you're tapping that ass, and you're like, wow, her mother's pretty fine too, and her sister. They're not twins, 2 years apart. It's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. But you're like, then you run into a family member, you're like, the aunt or cousin or whomever, gonna pass. Is it rude? Now you've gone ahead and done your best to be upfront and at least lay out a plan in terms of, yes, I'm gonna, try to hit as many as possible. But if somebody's, not up to your, it's a matter of preference. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no, better or worse. It's just a matter of preference. The aunt did not do it for you and you don't want to hit it. Would it be rude to deny her the experience? I don't think so. I don't think it comes from a place of like, oh, I'm withholding. It's not personal. It's not, this isn't about her, You could do it. You could totally do it, and that'd be fine too. It wouldn't kill you. I'll say this: it wouldn't kill you, but it doesn't make you a horrible person. You're smashing this girl. You want to smash the sister and the mom. If the aunt is not, on par with the sister or the mom. You could mix it up together. You could maybe hit it all at once. So it kind of like, if the mom and the sister and herself are like, average 7, 8, 9s, and the aunt, let's say, is like a 4 or 5 or 6, then to mix it up and bring her in the mix would, of course, it would lower the overall average, but it would still not be too bad in terms of, but again, I'll leave it up to you. I would say it's not rude. I would say it's probably more rude to do it out of, like, it shouldn't be an obligation, like, oh, I gotta do this thing. That it should never, because you don't want to make somebody feel like, oh, yeah, this is an obligation. So again, if you're hitting the mom, sister, and your girl at the same time, but there's like, a couple of cousins or an aunt or whatever, or like a second, twice removed cousin, replaced once, that one, if you don't want to hit, you don't have to, dog. Nobody's like putting a gun in your head. So thank you for that question. It is important that we dig into these things and really find out what it is that we're all about. And I think it's going out there, wearing your as they say, wearing your cack on your sleeve, and just being honest and having a good time, and with as many people as you possibly can. So there you have it. Congratulations, of course, and I hope this helps. And by the way, out there, if you're listening, you're like, I have a solution or a remedy of how to engage and navigate this situation. Please feel free to write it down if you have any suggestions. We're always open to hear from you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2026. I am, personally speaking, I'm sick and tired of having to sit down and take a shit. It's redundant, it's time consuming, it takes up way too much space, which is why I have teamed up with the best of the best out there. And I said to myself, we could eliminate the sitting from the shitting and have stand and shit toilets for faster, more convenient dropping of the old deuces. Why not have that? And we went ahead and actually invented this new toilet. It's a stand and shit toilet where you don't need to sit down, no longer scrolling your phone while you're sitting down, looking like a chimp, but on a like a chimp but on a toilet who's scrolling their phone, and that's not fun. Stand up like the bipedal man that God and or nature designed. So do it with confidence, because you've seen people sitting on the toilet. You've seen yourself. You've seen a reflection of yourself. You've got a glimpse at your own body sitting down on the toilet. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. You can be surprised and caught off guard, and you could die instantaneously when surprised and caught off guard. I believe the statistics show, if I'm not mistaken, every day, every hour, 3,000 people were surprised and caught off guard on the toilet and went to their death at an early age. Had they had the opportunity, of course, to stand and take a shit, they could have, of course, evaded the danger. But no. Up until now, we said, oh, if it works, don't break it. No, if it works, keep letting it work. But at one point or another, it can work better, and that's what we did. We said, forget about it. No more of these, the midday, intruder alert inside your home, and you're sitting down with your pants around your ankles, and next thing you know, your children and your wife in the next bedroom over are getting stabbed to death. None of that. Be ready. Simply, you'll still need to, of course, either completely remove your pants or, bring it down your ankles or at least your knees so you can take a shit. But at least they'll give you a quicker reaction time when you want to pull your pants up. You don't have to get up. The milliseconds that you'll save will go towards saving your life and your loved ones too. The amount of time that you'll save not sitting down, you can actually be out there, fucking making bank, which is again one of the top things you should be aspiring to do in life, making bank. And the more you sit down on the toilet, the less money you'll be making. It shows on average people who sit and take a shit make about $1 million less than people who stand and take a shit in their lifetime. So yeah, are you one of those people that wants to have instant gratification and wants to be comfortable, or do you want to actually, which by the way, I'll say this, standing and shitting is actually far more comfortable than sitting. for the people that we've interviewed, for the people that have tested our product, for the people that are willing to go on camera and testify. It's changed their lives. I don't want to say in which way. Unless you force me to, quit forcing me, fine, I'll say you push me in a corner, I have no other choice. It's improved their sexual relations with their partners, their relationship with their children, they're attending their community church more, they're giving back in terms of philanthropy and outreach programs. What haven't they done? Some of them have been reported to try to fly to the moon by themselves without any aircrafts. Incredible. All the things that you thought were impossible. It was right in front of your eyes. So please, rip out your old school sit down and shit toilets and replace it with stand and shit toilets for faster, more convenient. It does take a little bit of time getting used to it. You might walk and drip. We're working on it. That's pretty much like one of the only negatives when you do stand and shit. Some people have reported walking and dripping because it's just a matter of wiping it properly. And we're working on a bidet that's planted right on the wall, so it hits your anus not from below, but from the side where your anus is. By the way, it's on this. Of course, if you sit down, knock it off with sitting down is what I'm trying to tell you. Buy this new product, stand and shit toilets, for the new people of the future, which is right here, right now. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, get a sip of this right here. Before we proceed, please. A beautiful tourist went down to Thailand, if I'm not mistaken, and suplexed a jet ski scammer. This is the first time, or at least one of the first times, that I've seen somebody suplex another individual in public. Of course, suplexing is huge in wrestling. It's not so huge in everyday experiences. But I did ask myself, first and foremost, what do I know about this story? And the answer to that question was very little. I know very little about what went down. I don't know who is in the right. I don't know who's in the wrong. I'm going to assume this beautiful tourist went down to Thailand. I'm going to have the tourist back on this story for the sake of continuity. With what? Who knows? The beautiful, trusting tourist went down to Thailand and he decided to maybe get himself a jet ski. The scheming local decided to maybe do a little bit of scheming and scamming and eyed out this beautiful tourist and said, "Oh, I'm gonna scam this tourist who wants to do a little bit of jet skiing here in Thailand." Love my Thai people in this particular story. The villain is of course Thai. Nonetheless, this is not a remark on the Thai people. This is just an individual. It's an anomaly. Most people are beautiful everywhere. The point is, focus on the story. The Thai jet ski scammer decided to go and advertise his jet skis on the streets as also maybe potential prostitutes and or sex robots. Ride my jet ski, experience getting fucked and riding the waves at the same time. Our naive tourist went to the market and saw this jet ski scammer on the streets advertising his jet skis that also act as sex workers. He said, "For the price of one, I can have both experiences." The man responded yes in Thai. Somehow our tourist understood Thai, which is remarkable. He had a knack for languages, son of a bitch. But next thing you know, he went out on the water and it was just a regular jet ski. Succumbed with fear and anxiety, uncertain. What am I gonna do with my blue balls now? He said to himself. Oh, vacation ruined. Oh, all the stress still remains in my body. I've not actually gotten to relax. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get my monies back in I'm gonna have a word with this fella scammer, this jet ski scammer. So he parked and decked. He parked his jet ski and docked it at the deck. That's right. He did all of that, and he went to the jet ski scammer and said, "Hey, you said this is a jet ski / prostitute. I didn't feel any sensation on my peen." And the jet ski scammer simply laughed and shrugged and said, "That's the way it goes down here," in Thai. Of course, I'd say it in Thai, but I'm not gonna. deprive you of understanding this story, because most of you don't speak Thai. Try Duolingo. That's how I've mastered all the languages in the world. Duolingo. This podcast is brought to you by, it could easily be brought to you by I could be fucking floating in big Duolingo money right now. Of course, they probably want me to speak Thai to prove that I've learned the language, but I say when I seize the cash, I'll show you the Thai. Show me a man who can speak Thai and doesn't have a bundle of cash in his backpack. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, what are we even talking about? That's right. The jet ski scammer said, I'm not going to give you your money. You tourists are all alike. You like to come in here and ride our jet skis and pretend that it's a prostitute. And the tourist said, I just want to rent a regular jet ski. You're the one who said it's going to feel like a prostitute. You lying son of a bitch. Give me my money back. And he said no in Thai. And that's when our tourist lost it. He suplexed them in the middle of the market, in the middle of the parking lot, in the middle of the residential area. I don't know where it happened. In the middle of Bangkok, somewhere in Thailand. And it just made me think, man, moral of the story, where should you suplex? When is it appropriate to suplex? How often should you suplex? Because most people are not. I say in terms of being scammed, I think that's, if it happens to be the way it went down, just as I've described, then I say yes, you should get to suplex people. If by some, if by happenstance it's the other way around and it was the tourist's fault, then it came out of left field and uncalled for. But nonetheless, suplexes do look friggin' awesome. Please suplex your children right now. Suplex your neighbor. Suplex your elderly if you can. It's a good form of exercise. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't have time for a full-blown workout. What can I do to kind of, exert a lot of energy quickly? Suplexing. 5 suplexes, 5 simple suplexes a day keeps you fucking rock hard. Keeps you rock hard and your nipples upright. Those who fail to do suplexes will have sagging nipples, touching, scraping the ground, and making sparks fly, scaring all the neighborhood children. Mommy, what is that? The little children will say. That's a woman who doesn't do suplexes and her tits are now dragging on the ground. Mommy, why couldn't she just do the suplexes? They'll say, because she was an idiot. That's what the mother would say. Suplexes. When is it right to do? When is it not right to do? That is the question. And so the plot thickens. The plot was already thick, but it got even thicker. The plot is a thickie. The plot is morbidly obese. The plot is on Ozempic. The plot has lost a lot of weight. The plot has Ozempic head. The plot mysteriously died. We're in Bangkok once again, of course, for this story. Looksmaxxing influencer Connor Michael Murphy, if I'm not mistaken, 32 years old, looksmaxer out there, looksmaxxing. I think these are the people that hit their faces with objects to get to crack their cheekbones to get bigger cheekbones, and then they crack their foreheads. I think they're constantly breaking their faces, but then letting it heal, but then breaking it again. I think it's microfractures in the skeleton. It works. It gets your bones stronger. People do it all the time. I believe this was invented by Muay Thai professionals who figured if you break the bones and give microfractures, it actually comes back stronger. That's why their bones never break, unless it's met with a force that's really strong, and it does break, because bones do eventually break. But the point is, you can break your face, is what these looksmaxers are doing. You can break your face and get a bigger cheekbone. But low key, they seem to be why won't they just leave one side, leave one side normal and break the other half, enlarge it, so that at least you have options, because you never know. You might grow and be like, man, I miss my old face. At least you can have half your face. Don't go full blown. You don't know. See if you like the other half first, then go full blown, But nonetheless, he broke his cheekbones. He looks maxed, and rest in peace, by the way. He got into an argument. He's in Bangkok. He's in Thailand. He's, I guess, renting a place, a compound, a hotel, a residential a dwelling of sorts. And it's quite big, quite big. Looksmaxxer, renting a place in Thailand, gets back to his compound from somewhere, I don't know the full deets, gets into an argument with a security guard, don't know the details of this, what happened, who knows what the argument was about. He was probably, as a looksmaxxer, I can only deduce and say he went up to the Thai security guard and said, "Hey man, I'm a looksmaxxer, walk on my face, won't ya? Walk on my face." And the Thai security guard's like, "That's not in my job description." And the looksmaxxer said, "Walk on my face," I said. "Motherfucker, I need these cheekbones to be even bigger." And the Thai security guard said, I don't want to, don't make me do it, mister. I don't want to do it. I don't want to walk on your face. I don't care about looksmaxxing." And he walked away and left our looksmaxxer upset, which is why he decided to jump into a lake nearby and drown himself and died. Well, I don't know if his intent was to drown himself, but he did drown himself. He died. What's crazy about this story is they showed the inside of the house. And these guys, I don't know him, to be honest with you. Rest in peace, of course. A human has passed away. But the reason why I'm talking about it is his death does seem a little bit sus. A little bit. Again, I'm guessing he's doing relatively well. I think there was images of the house, the dwelling, and the car. There was, images of drug paraphernalia. But also, the house was covered in doo-doo, like fecal matter. Like, at least seemingly. I don't know if it was fecal matter. Maybe people can confirm this online if you've seen the house. Again, this is Connor Michael Murphy's house, looksmaxxing influencer, covered in what seems to me at least to be just fecal matter everywhere, just doo-doo. And again, like dirt, just a dirty, dirty. So, but it's one of those old saying, what looks maxed on the outside may not be maxed on the inside, I think. Who said that? Benjamin Franklin said that. He said, if you're maxed on the outside, probably not maxed on the inside. No. Buddha said, what did Buddha say? Max somewhere in the middle, he said, I think. Max somewhere in the middle of both inside and outside. Because you max all on the outside, then that explains the fecal matter on the inside of your dwelling, which is not nice, because people will look at you and be like, man, this guy's fucking looksmaxxing. I bet his house is not covered in fecal matter. Next thing you know, you get to his compound in Thailand, covered in fecal matter. You're like, God damn it again. So please, find that balance for yourself. What caused the death, I have no idea. It does seem a little bit weird that he'd get into an argument with a security guard, jump in a lake, die, and then his house was covered in, was it drugs? Was it, I don't know, I have questions. Did he accidentally kill himself? Was it a form of suicide? Was it low-key? Then I thought, let's get some tinfoil out. I don't know this fella, let's get some tinfoil out. A great way to make somebody look cray-cray if you've had to kill them. If this was a hit, if this was wet works, I don't know these people. I don't know. The world is mysterious, full of mysteries. Who knows? Have some fun with it. Let your imagination run wild. You do a hit on a looksmaxxing influencer who's also an undercover, he's like an undercover Interpol agent who's trying to, put an end to smuggling something, maybe drugs, maybe prostitutes, maybe weapons of mass destruction, who knows? They find out who he is, they kill him, they throw around a couple of syringes in his car, cover his house in fecal matter, the story gets out, fecal matter, connoisseur slash looksmaxxer who also, played with needles, dies mysteriously in Thailand because he's just, fucking carrying out looksmaxxing. Another vain looksmaxxer takes his own life and just pisses it all away, and that's the story. Who knows? That's all I'm asking. Sus, weird, right? Why would the house be covered in fecal matter? Unless he was just fucking, crashing out and doing a lot of drugs, like fucking needle drugs, like hard drugs, not like fun, not like whatever, like fucking hardcore shit. Was it personal hardcore shit? Did he do the fucking heroin in Thailand? And did he have a little bit of, oh man, I'm in Thailand, I just sucked off like 10 lady boys. Oh no, they got me on camera. He couldn't deal with it, kill himself. Or was he low-key doing some, fucking, who knows what kind of action adventure he was getting himself into. Rest in peace nonetheless. Be careful where you're looksmaxxing out there. Yeah, the moral of the story is don't look at it, and maybe that's the case. Maybe that's just again a looksmaxxer who was partying and having a good time, but then accidentally died. The point of this is, don't. I know there's a lot of pressure on a lot of people in terms of the men's and the women's. You look at people, you're like, oh, I gotta be doing this and that to myself and my body and my life. Well, look at this. This guy was maxing out. So feel good about yourself if you're not hitting yourself in the face with a hammer, and also if you're hitting yourself in the face with a hammer as well, I don't want you to feel too bad. Keep doing what you're doing. Do it some more. I personally think you're not looksmaxxing enough. I don't think you're maxing out enough personally, to be honest with you. I think your chin, your jaws, all the bones in your body could probably be 10 times bigger. And if they tell you, no, don't do it, that means that they want you to do it even more. Please. I recommend just take a day off and go to like a construction site. Get a fella with a jackhammer to just right there on your face, dude. Fucking chisel that shit. Chisel that shit right there on the construction site. You feel me? What are we even talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Argentina. Shout out to my Argentines. Of course, there was I don't know what this says. I don't know if I'm not sure if this is the best instructor or the worst instructor. Flight instructor in Argentina. 42-year-old male decided to show up to the job and take a student pilot up in the sky with him, and halfway through the flight, he just decided to unbuckle his seatbelt, and his final words were, "You know what to do," and he just opened the plane door and jumped out, and he killed himself, leaving the student pilot having to land the plane by herself. I think it was a she. I think it was a she pilot, a shilot, because a pilot is for male pilots, and because it starts with the letter P, because men have penises. That's why it's going to. Otherwise, that's why we got to call it a shilot for female pilots, nonetheless, or violets for vagina, because they have vaginas. Vagina pilots, violets, or damn, pilots could work for puss too. Never mind. Pilots is just a good word for just regular, all day, every day, male and female pilots. Doesn't matter. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, best instructor or worst instructor? Because like low-key, you can teach somebody how to like fucking, take off. And taking off is easy. I think it's the landing part that's probably the most difficult part. You can keep teaching them all, day and long, and all the time. You're like, you gotta fucking level it out, and watch your L, watch your right, watch your 6, watch your 12. I don't know if these are pilot terms, but it feels right. Land it when it feels right. Whatever the instructors tell the students. Fucking, you can't land now. You gotta put out the tires first. You gotta put the tires out first before you land. Am I an instructor? Am I a pilot? Did I just basically cover everything you need to know about flying a plane? God damn. Yeah, so you could take the time to fucking, take it slow, and again, I'm gonna sit here right beside you and you can land this on your own. Or you do what this guy did, just be like, you know what to do. I've taught you everything you need to know. Maybe it was just like 2 lessons in, who knows how many lessons they've had, but he felt like she knows what to do, and he said that. You gotta have some level of confidence, because it's one thing to take your own life, but to, also put somebody else's in life. I think he knew, as a good teacher, at least he knew that he had done everything he could to teach this young woman how to fly. And she did. She landed a plane, no injuries to her. That's wonderful. But also, it is a hilarious way to go. It is a hilarious way to just be like mid-flight, it's your last day, as a flight instructor. Be like, I could do this on my own. He could have definitely done this by himself when he was just one day, taking a plane and going cruising around. He could have just, if that's what he wanted to, just jump out of a plane. But I guess he didn't want to hurt anybody, because then the plane, low-key, I think a good guy. Because yeah, if he did that, if he jumped by himself, then the plane would have crashed somewhere, potentially killing, a couple of people, thousands, tens of thousands of people. Who knows? So all in all, I think low-key best teacher. And at the end of the day, he removed himself from the job market, which is also being, they're constantly being replaced by AI and robots. You hear about this, you're like, autonomous pilots, autonomous planes. So this guy's like, I'm old for a pilot. 42 years old, I'm old, I'll jump out and at least, give this 22-year-old a few years of flying experience before she's replaced with a robot, with a sexy, hot robot who doesn't mind, giving sloppy toppy to the passengers because it's a robot. She can multitask. So there you have it. There you have it. Apparently he had some sort of, it came out that he had some mental health issues or whatever that only his family knew. But also, low-key, if you're a pilot, I think you all have, and I respect you. I get it. But you got to have some sort of mental health issues in order to be able to get into piloting. I think, at least. You look at a metal tube and you're like, I want to fly that thing. I want to travel really fast in the air, and then I'm going to do that thing. You got to be a little bit, again, it's that fine line. I think it goes back to not being full-blown anything. Somewhere in the middle, I think. What have we been talking about? Shout out to this lady, of course, landing the plane. We are worried that now she'll take this as the, the lesson that she learned. Maybe she'll do this and repeat it to her students one day. She gets older, she's in her 40s. She's like, oh, I guess it's time. I learned from my teacher and I fly fucking great. You know what to do. Now she jumps out. We don't know how to break the cycle now because she thinks it's part of the lesson. Who knows? Good teacher, bad teacher, I'll leave it to the audience. And mazel tov to everybody out there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, questions have come up, of course, regarding Jeffrey Epstein's Virgin Island banks. Apparently it came out recently and they try to fucking silence this part of the story, and many parts of the story have remained suspicious, open-ended, uncovered. Who knows? Apparently he had this bank in the Virgin Islands, Jeffrey Epstein did. And right before his death and right after his death, 45 millions of monies was transactioned in and out of his bank. And ultimately he had millions of dollars in his bank account. After his death, a few days later, left with only 500,000. Deposited money, withdrew money. Deposited money, withdrew money. Millions. Who's doing what? Is he still alive? Who was he? Still questions remain unanswered. It'd be nice to get a few answers. It'd be nice. I don't think we'll hear it from we're never going to hear from, traditional and news media outlets or whatever. Can we just deduce he was definitely used? I'm going to say he's international spy of some sorts for probably. Yeah, again, I don't know. Definitely a spy of sorts. And I don't even know if that's like the technical term that they call these guys at that level. Is that an operator or an agent, or he's not an asset? Spy. Let's just make it digestible for everyone. Let's just call him what it is. I think he's a spy for whom I don't know. To be honest with you, I think low-key it's either CIA or Mossad. Leaning personally, gut feelings, not knowing anything, just piecing different things, looking at it from afar. Low-key feels Mossad-ish. Shout out to the Mossad, of course, but this was some, sometimes you do fuck shit. Sometimes you do fuck shit. That's, again, fine line. And everything, really. He went a little bit overboard. Is he still alive? Because who took the money then? Who took the money after his death? Why would they take the money before his death? He could maybe say, okay, he had people on the outside because he's connected to God knows how many people out there, high-level individuals all around the world. Money coming out before his death somewhat makes sense. But why did the money come out of his bank account after his death, homie? Why did the money come out of his bank after his death? Whom took the money out of? Can we not trace that? Can we not trace where that money went to? Can we not see where that transaction was, where were the transactions? Why is it like little chump change always, you fucking parking ticket is like, oh, you've not paid your parking ticket, and they fucking hound you until they find where you live and get every penny out of you. Millions of dollars go missing all of a sudden. You're like, oh, we don't know which bank account withdrew the money and who did it and where it came from. Low-key, I think we know. Low-key, we know, but we don't want to disclose it. Like we don't know. Those who know. But low-key, have some fun. But also, if he was a CIA or Mossad agent, you do want to get the funds back too. I do see that. It does suck too, because bad agent maybe went rogue, who knows? But you do got to get the money back, right? It's like at the end of the day, it's the company's money. You got to get the company's money back. You can't just be like 45 million sitting in an account of a alleged dead agent probably. I don't even think he's dead. To be honest with you, yeah, probably living in either Israel or maybe even the yeah. If he just like you change your looks a little bit, you could probably live in this. I bet he's probably roaming around, maybe in Miami somewhere. Who knows? Why did the money come out of his bank then? Why did the money come out of his bank after his death? Extremely sus. Waymo just narked on a couple of teens, if I'm not mistaken. These driverless cars, autonomous cars, called the cops on some teens. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say this is in Orange County. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. I don't know. Maybe it was in somewhere in California, maybe. Some teens, I don't even know what they did. I think they maybe had water guns. They wanted to squirt the water guns. I think, I'm not quite sure. They wanted to do some, just basic, minimal fuck shit, just in the back of a cab. And I guess somehow through the cameras and the sensors, the Waymo fucking figured out these kids are maybe playing with fake guns or maybe thought it's real guns. Narked on them, called the police, and then drove them to the police and dropped them off right there, dude. Moral of that story, lesson of the story is Waymo, driverless cars, overall all these robotics, they're fun and they're great and I'm here for it. I'm here with the times when we evolve to the next thing and the next thing and the thing after that, and we remove and replace and get better and faster and stronger. I'm all for that stuff, but just putting it out there for you. Be safe. If you're gonna do some fuck shit, make sure you're not doing it in and around those fucking the lesser the number of cameras around you if you're gonna have a little bit of fun, because it's innocent times. You could have just been in the back of a cab, squirting a little water gun out of your back window and everything would have been fine. Nobody would have taken you to the cops or narked on you, and that's small scale, like that's nothing. That's nothing. But if you're cheating on your wife and her husband, what if you're like everyday people, who cares? What if you're a little bit higher echelon? Do not be engaging in sexual activities with other people if you're in the higher echelons of society, because people could definitely, I'm assuming, fucking hack the camera inside the Waymo you were in, watch you seducing an Italian congresswoman or a French senator or whatever, or just fucking foreign dignitaries, or a Colombian dignitary with long Colombian legs, and by that I mean legs made of cocaine. And next thing you know, fucking images of you are being recorded, you're being narked on, and they might not even fucking call you out on it right then and there, but like 5 years from now, when you're running for like whatever, they'll call you up and be like, hey, do you want to be running for whatever? And you're like, yeah, how'd you know I'm going to be running for whatever? And they're like, we got this file on you with this Colombian girl with the fucking legs made out of cocaine. If you want your career to not get, trampled on, give us one of her cocaine legs. And you're like, oh, I sniffed all her cocaine legs. All right, there's no more left. You'll say that. Moral of the story, if you're going to do fuck shit, if you want to be snorting a couple of lines, do not be doing it in the back of a Waymo. If you're going to be, doing a little bit of, I'm not here telling you to go do fuck shit, but I'm just saying people do fuck shit. If you're going to be, doing a little bit of fuck shit activities, like giving handies and or, going to pick up some, product from somebody and then drop it off somewhere. I'm just saying, maybe take your time moving forward with the old Waymo and the old, the robot vacuum or whatever. Oh, I don't know why my house blew up with this robot vacuum, because they wanted you to blow up. You were getting too good. You were getting too good in your field, making too much bank, so they hacked your vacuum and you blew up because of your vacuum. So you're like, oh, but it takes time. I don't want to vacuum my own place. Well, fucking A. There you go. Watch out wherever you want to do fuck shit. Make sure it's the lower the number of robots and or eyes, the better. That's all I'm saying. Unless you're like, I really want to do time. Then do it in the back of a Waymo. There you go. Of course, in a surprising turn of events in Spain and in the annual Running with the Bulls event, surprising turn of events. People got trampled and Running with the Bulls came out of left field, came out of nowhere. No one saw this coming. Thousands of people gathered as they do every year, and they run with the Bulls. And amazingly, despite our best efforts, somehow the Bulls managed to still trample all over the people and stomped some people and maybe potentially injured. I'm not sure if anybody died, but definitely injured a good chunk of people. No one saw this coming. Of course, we didn't see this coming the same way we didn't see, the changing weather patterns of the seasons. Apparently we're all caught off guard by. I know everybody's caught off guard by the heat in the summer, so we didn't see that coming, and we didn't see the Bulls running over people either at the Running with the Bulls. That's. We were also all caught off guard by Lionel Messi and Erling Haaland scoring so many goals in the World Cup. Who could have seen this coming? Of course, once again, surprise, surprise. What do you know? Who could have seen this coming? Does it feel good to get trampled? It must feel like there must be because you go to a massage place and they walk on your back, and there's a fine point where they're like, yes, right there, right between the second and third rib, right there. Stick your heel in the second and third rib. Next thing you know, your eyes are rolled to the back of your head, and you're fucking just a little bit of pre-cum comes out of your cock, and nothing too much so that it's not that type of place. You know what I'm talking about. Just applying enough force. There's a fine point where somebody's like digging their heel right into your, solar plex, and you're like, good God, am I about to die or just come right now? Who knows? But it must feel that way for at least a split second when the bull has just got their hooves right over your your temple, and you're like, God, my head's never felt better until it's fully squished and you're dead. For a second, it might be just, you've always suffered migraines for some reason. There's this bull's hoof for a millisecond. You're like, I don't feel my fucking headache. Right there, dude. Must feel good, I think. Who knows? But the Spanish are always, of course, famous for their quick recovering bones. Legend has it when a Spanish bone breaks, it immediately heals with no rehab necessary. So shout out to the Spanish people, of course. We don't know how this happened. We only hope that next year it won't. For those who are suffering allegedly from the trampling, quit spreading your false tales. All right, this is a joyous event. Quit complaining, essentially. Quit being weak. Nobody else seemed to be affected by this so-called alleged trampling. The Bulls loved it. The Bulls are happy. The people are happy. And so quit trying to come after the annual bull run, Running with the Bulls. Run with the Bulls. The best thing you can do to avoid injury is, of course, start young. I myself take my babies with the bulls, and whenever they're running at an early age, before my baby can even crawl, I just roll the baby in between the legs of the bulls, and they're running and they're kicking the baby, and the baby's malleable. It learns. It's like a sponge. It can learn like a sponge. Like, how sponges learn? It's better to teach a sponge than to teach a human. That's what it is, because that's why waste teaching a human where you can just teach a sponge, because sponges are better at absorbing things. So just forget babies, have sponges. Really, that's what they should be telling you. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I toss my baby, and then the bulls run all over it and kick it around, but the baby gets stronger. The bones crack, and that's low-key fucking looksmaxxing. You could say I've been looksmaxxing with my baby probably for at least 10 years now. And once they get into teenagehood, and then they're nimble and fast, and their bones are now hefty and strong, you can rest assured that they'll grow up to be adults who would run with the bulls till probably at least they're 80 or 90 and never risk getting heavily injured, at least if they're trampled by the bulls. We've seen this time and time again. You can bounce back quickly as long as, again, you get in there early. Don't think that you've never ran with the bulls. You're going to get in there in your, mid-20s or 30s. I've, again, tossed my kid from a young age, and I myself were tossed in front of the bulls, of course. When you're young, if you're trying to teach you got to teach the young children. You got to grab onto the one of the legs of the bull and run with that's why it's called running with the bulls. You're supposed to grab onto one of their legs and just run with them and let them do the running and eventually climb your way to the top, mount them and assert dominance on the bull, grab them by the horns and say, I stand here as a man, not just, you know, the male species, but man, representing mankind on top of this docile beast, and I dominate you. And we say that out loud so that they hear us. I'm not sure if they understand it, but at least we say it, and that's how we assert our dominance and basically put it down as to who's on top of the fucking food chain, baby. And then we eat them after. It's standardized. Talking about the baby. Shout out to the running with the bulls, of course. No one saw that coming. When I squirt, I get it everywhere. Somebody wrote in and asked us, do you have any tips? Because when I'm squirting out there as a female, it happens to just get all over the place. I'm a squirter, she said. It's all over the place. Do you have any tips? Sister, you're not alone. I've done some squirting in my time. I'll continue to do some squirting, and it does get everywhere. I have noticed that as well. Yes, you are true. You are correct. You're for real. Thank you for opening up. But I do want to clarify when you say it gets everywhere. Like, what does that even mean? Let's unpack everywhere together if we can. Because one could say that you technically can't get it everywhere, because everywhere is, and it's a lot. Everywhere is a lot. Everywhere, like you squirt and get it all over the world. You know what I mean? The reason why I'm trying to stress this point is I don't want you to feel bad about yourself, because sure, you might get it on the ceiling, you might get it on the you know, charcuterie board, you might get it on in your lover's eye. This is both of them. You might get it on. You might somehow even get it on your own back. You might even like low-key be on the balcony, and you might have some neighbors, and you might even get it on your neighbors. You might low-key, like there might be like a squirrel who's run up the balcony to get like the nuts that you left out. You left little peanuts for the local squirrels to come get them, and like you got it all over the squirrel, and the squirrel's like being hit in the eye with your squirt. It's like my eye. And then you see him like, you know, fucking having a hard time with the little peanuts that you left, and it's like, you feel good because you left peanuts for the squirrel, but then your squirt hit him in the eye and it's irritating him. So he's not fully enjoying that peanut, which makes you feel like, oh, am I helping or am I hurting? And I just want to, like, again, if we can, I want to take away the burden of what you're feeling right now. It's not all on you, because you can't possibly get it everywhere. The places that you have got it, I say be comfortable with it, own it. You can't, of course, you know, could you control it? I've controlled it. I remember the year was 2001. It's the first time I started to squirt and control it. I said to myself, everybody's going all over the place. Why not control it? And it was mind over matter at that moment on. Whenever I squirted, I'm like, pick a direction, aim, and just you know, hit your target, and that's it. But other people like to, you know, be a little bit more fast and loose with it, a little bit just like, we're going to be a little bit, you know, Jackson Pollock with this shit, and get it all over the place, which is not really a big deal, to be honest with you. Have the cleaning equipment necessary to, you know, take care of the mess after, unless you plan on doing it again shortly after, which by that logic, I say just leave it till the end of the week and have either yourself or like somebody come clean it for you. Then there's no point of, you know, changing, let's say, the bed sheets midday and then having to change the bed sheets again at nighttime. That's just crazy talk. So I'd say it's not all on you. It's, you know, don't take it upon yourself to be like, I gotta, you know, careful where all my squirt goes. You can't. It's impossible. I remember John tried to stop it. We were working on how to get control over squirting and see if we can really aim it at where we want. And he thought he was determined to find a way to fucking harness the energy of the squirt, but he worked so hard. He worked himself to death, John. God damn it, John. No. He's still see him in my dreams, working long hours together, trying to find a way to master and harness the energy of the escort. I will continue to work, and it might not be perfect. We might not ever get it fully under control. We might not ever be able to harness the energy of the escort, but because of my colleague John and his dedication to harnessing the energy of female vaginal discharge, I will try my hardest and I will never stop. This one's for you, John. This one's for you. I'd like to make a shout out, if I may, a shout out to the canine unit of San Bernardino. A beautiful canine assisted the police officers in restraining a standoff suspect out of a vehicle, grabbed onto his arm and ripped him out of the car like the brave, good little boy that he is. Shout out to the canines out there who don't get the love and appreciation that they should, like they do, but they probably should get more, because that's awesome. What a great day he must have had to grab that fucking suspect by the arm and just rip him out of the car. The sad thing is, I'm not sure if they'll be able to like tell the other dogs, the other canines about their, courageous act. Like how would they, I would love to see that, the POV of the canine that grabbed the standoff suspect out of the car, going back to his unit. You should have seen me. I grabbed this guy by the arm, ripped him out of the car, and they're like, yeah, okay there, Mike. Maybe that's his name. I don't know what the dog's name is, but maybe Mike is his name. They're like, yeah, okay, Mike, we always practice, but none of us actually get it. They'll forget too. Will they remember if they actually got any? Should we put cameras on them? Do we have cameras on them? We should definitely equip these canines with cameras. If we don't already, please do so. Shout out to the canines. We should avoid him. I don't know what maybe he'll need some, what do we give him as treats? I'm guessing it's cocaine, right? A little bit of cocaine, a little bit, maybe just a little bit. Give him that. Does he also get to nibble on the, once you take the suspect in, does he get to come and like nibble on his nuts a little bit? Because he's been dragging on the arm the whole time. The sweet spot is like, sweet spot, you want the dog to go after the nuts. That's where they have fun. I think. Shout out to the canines. It would definitely be a little bit more difficult for them trying to tell the other dogs what they did throughout that day. You gotta just, you guys should have been there. I grabbed his arm, ripped it out of the car, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, there, sure, you've done that. But they've done it too. That's the thing. They've all done it at one point or another. It's beautiful. Shout out to the canine unit. Shout out to the police officers out there, and shout out to the suspects who place themselves in those situations where we get to see these magnificent beasts, friends of men and women, go out there and do the good work. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.